The madness turning to sweetness as the Hogs are still dancing. We've got the highlights from today's game, plus a look ahead at their next matchup. And a look outside shows pretty clear conditions, but meteorologist Simone Thomas says things may change in parts of Arkansas tomorrow. The latest on what she's tracking. Plus, as Arkansans are still recovering from wildfires seen all across the state, hear how some are thanking the ones battling the flames. Good evening and thanks for staying up late with us tonight. I'm Brooke Buckner. In case you didn't hear, it was a big day for the Hogs as they have moved on to the Sweet 16. And Hog fans, we won't make you wait any longer. Let's go straight to Nick Luttrell with more on the sweet, sweet victory.
Well, yeah, Brooke, on to the Sweet 16. Arkansas upset St. John 75-66 to advance to the third round of the NCAA tournament. As expected, it was a celebration and more for the Razorbacks and Coach Cal in the locker room as this team just keeps defying expectations and proving people wrong.
Look, I've done this a long time. I've never had a more rewarding season. And the reason we made it, I said it, we got a bunch of good guys that have been raised right by their families. And they were able to take what happened to us and know they had to become one heartbeat. After tomorrow night, there's only 16 teams left.
Damn. And we're one.
You gotta love the excitement from Cal and his team. They are one of them that will advance to the Sweet 16, and they'll get the 3 seed Texas Tech on Thursday. The time and network for this game is still to be determined, so we'll keep an eye on that. But don't worry, we got lots more to talk about with this game coming up later in sports.
All right, thanks, Nick. Tonight, Governor Sanders requesting a major disaster declaration from President Trump after last Friday's tornado outbreak where 3 people died and 32 were injured across Arkansas. The request, if approved, would unlock funding streams from various federal agencies to help with the rebuilding process. And Simone, we know we don't have the same level of threats tomorrow, but strong to severe weather is possibly headed our way.
Yeah, and I mean, if you live in Northwest Arkansas, you may even get a taste of that tonight. We are tracking kind of 2 rounds of strong to severe storms tonight and then tomorrow night. Tonight, the threat mainly just to our north, but some of those northwestern fringe counties that border Missouri and Oklahoma under that level 1 out of 5 marginal risk, and the very tip of the state at that Missouri border is at level 2 out of 5 or slight risk. But what we're really paying attention to here in central Arkansas is tomorrow night, where you see that level 2 out of 5 for areas across the southeastern third of the state. Now, the main impacts with that look to be damaging winds and large hail, but as we look at radar right now, we do see a few storms kind of just to our north. It looks like a severe thunderstorm warning in southwestern Missouri, but we'll be tracking the rain that'll move through the rest of the night as well as tomorrow in that 11-day outlook.
Thanks, Simone. The rain could definitely help with the dry conditions and burn bans across most of the state. This is a look at which counties are under a burn ban and which ones are at high risk of wildfire danger. And as you can see, there's a lot of orange on this map with more than 60 counties still under a burn ban. And after the week of wildfires in the natural state, some here in Little Rock are giving back to those who put out the flames. THV 11's Carter Thweep shows us how.
Brooke, multiple restaurants here locally are offering discounts to firefighters after the week we just had. It started when Fire Captain Ron Hampton made a Facebook post that inspired these restaurants to help out.
I posted that about my crew because I was really, really proud of my crew because I'm in a new role of captain and I'm working with a new crew.
After a week of fighting fires, Little Rock's Ron Hampton didn't expect that post thanking his crew for their hard work to get much attention. But it did, even catching the eye of Deanna Barlogie, who co-owns local restaurants Raduno and The Fold.
They were so proud of being able to serve the community, keep everyone safe, save as many structures as possible.
So Barlogie made the decision to offer 25% discounts to firefighters from Thursday through the end of this weekend at both her restaurants. Over at Raduno, general manager and head chef Cash Ashley says it's the least they can do.
I feel like this was the way that we could help. Like, we got to be here, we got to run this restaurant, and we got to work. So how can we give is just give a little of what we're doing to the folks who have been out there literally fighting.
Barlogie says they've had some firefighters come in already and they expect more throughout the weekend. She says they're grateful for the meal and discount, though not as grateful as the restaurant staff are to them.
If it's getting them out of the firehouse, something they don't have to cook on their own, and they can come and have a great meal and get a little discount, and that's what we're here for.
And in a full circle moment, Captain Hampton already got to enjoy his discounted meal at Raduno. He says firefighters do what they do because they love helping people, not for any kind of thanks. But thanks doesn't hurt.
What they did and what they offered, that was really, really cool, and I appreciated it. I stopped by there today, and I tell you, I can't wait to eat the leftovers.
Once again, that deal will be at both of those restaurants through Sunday night. All you need is your firefighter ID for 25% off.
Thank you, Carter. Beyond the fires, the winds themselves left plenty of damage across the state, enough to send many rushing to make roof repairs. Both roofers and insurance companies say they're getting a bunch of service calls for things like trees on homes and broken or missing shingles. If that's you, they encourage you to call quickly before the heart of severe weather season arrives.
People will see those shingles, one or two missing, and they don't seem to worry too much. But when the water is in the house, of course, they worry. And then, of course, when a tree falls into the house, you know, they're really worried then.
Before you make that potentially frustrating call to your insurance company, check your policy. It will give you a better idea of ways you might get them to increase or reconsider a roof repair claim. Sad news tonight from Metropolitan Emergency Medical Services as they say one of their own has died. In a post on social media, MEM sharing the sad news, saying in part, Captain Hagar was more than just a dedicated professional. She was fun-loving, caring, and the kind of person who would give you the shirt off her back. Her commitment to serving others on and off the job has left a lasting impact at MEMS and on the countless lives she touched. Captain Courtney Hagar had been at MEMS for the past 20 years. New tonight at 10, the Garland County Sheriff's Office says they're looking for this man on your screen. Authorities say he has disabilities and was last seen in the area of Hamilton Dairy Road on Tuesday. If you have any info on where he may be tonight, you're asked to call the Garland County Sheriff's Office. In Jacksonville, police are asking for your help identifying 3 people wanted for theft. Take a look at these 3 and see if you recognize them. If you do or have any information on where they could be, you're asked to call police. Meanwhile, the State Department of Education is being sued over changes to the Arkansas School for the Deaf and Blind. The changes would combine the 2 schools into one, and officials say they're based on a survey from December of 2023. But the plaintiffs in the suit say that survey was too long, vaguely worded, and not accessible to blind and deaf people.
The survey itself did not have what are called auxiliary aids. They did not have any American Sign Language functioning or any type of voice recognition or any type of audio component, which would have made it available to Arkansans who are deaf and blind.
We reached out to the Department of Education, but were told they could not comment on ongoing litigation. You can read more about the lawsuit on our website, thv11.com. Over to an update from the University of Pine Bluff now, as the Board of Trustees have unanimously decided on Dr. Anthony Graham as their next leader. Dr. Graham will take the helm on July 1st and replace Dr. Andrea Stewart, who has been serving in the interim since last summer. Continuing coverage on the health of Pope Francis tonight, where doctors in Rome are saying that after a month plus in the hospital, the Pope will soon get to go back home. The Pope has been battling pneumonia in both his lungs and in 2 respiratory crises. He nearly lost his life. They say he has been stable now for 2 weeks and he can go back to his residence at the Vatican, but he will require 2 months of convalescence. Vatican officials say it is too early to say what activities the Pope will be able to participate in, including for Easter. Last night, the family of George Foreman announcing on social media that the former heavyweight boxing champion died at the age of 76. Foreman, known in ring as Big George, rose to the top even after his career was finished, most notably with his George Foreman grills. Tonight, CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette has more on one of the world's greatest heavyweight fighters.
George Foreman launched his heavyweight boxing career and life in the limelight as an Olympian, winning gold in Mexico City in 1968. The native Texan then continued building his legacy, winning fight after fight and making history with his knockout victory over Joe Frazier in 1973.
Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier!
But then came his downfall, the famed Rumble in the Jungle fight in 1974, an unexpected 8th-round knockout loss to Muhammad Ali, one of the most watched TV events of that time period.
I think Muhammad Ali and I did something for the world because people in Saudi Arabia, China, Japan, all over Africa, Europe, they all stood up at weird hours of the morning and night to see that fight.
It was prefaced by plenty of pre-fight trash talk.
Called me the Frankenstein monster, only because I was.
The loss was one of the turning points of Foreman's life.
It was like I was mugged in the jungle. I went there with 2 title belts. I came home with none.
He could laugh about the defeat years later, after he and Ali became the best of friends.
Oh, he was the greatest man I ever met. To say he was the greatest boxer is a put down. He was bigger than boxing. He was bigger than anything.
Foreman wasn't done in the ring after leaving the sport in 1977, staging a comeback a decade later, following what he called a religious awakening. He won another heavyweight title, beating Michael Moorer in 1994 at the age of 45. Then came his second career as an entrepreneur, launching the George Foreman Grill, which sold more than 100 million units around the world.
George Foreman, and look out.
He was beloved for his spirit and sense of humor. His family announcing his death on social media with an emotional tribute, saying he lived his life marked by unwavering faith, humility, and purpose. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
Tomorrow's going to be a lot cloudier with some rain chances mixed in than what we saw today. Temperatures looking to reach the lower and middle 70s. More details on the rest of the week are coming up right after the break.
How do you listen to your music? Are you old school and use a cassette or vinyl, or are you new school and use a streaming app? Well, today in Benton, all answers were accepted as music lovers gathered for VinylCon. What went down and how you can get involved coming up. And while you're watching basketball this weekend, don't forget to watch us too on our app THB11+. Here's a look at what's streaming tomorrow. All you have to do to get started is download the app for free on your TV. Then you can start watching this and so much more. We'll be right back.